The Los Angeles Angels have a new manager, Kurt Suzuki, a 16-year veteran, a World Series champion, one of the most respected catchers of his era, and now, the latest man asked to fix one of baseball's most confusing franchises. But here's the question everyone's asking. Is Kurt Suzuki actually here to manage this team, or just to follow orders? Because according to multiple reports, Albert Pujols, the original top choice for the job, walked away from the table after clashing with the front office over staff control, resources, and salary. And when Albert Pujols says no and Kurt Suzuki says yes, it tells you everything you need to know about how this front office works. This is Coach's Tape, and today we're breaking down what the Angels' latest move really says about how leadership works in Anaheim. Suzuki takes over a franchise with 10 consecutive losing seasons and the longest playoff drought in Major League Baseball. He's admired around the league, great reputation, calm presence, and respected for his work with pitching staffs during his playing days. But he's also never managed or coached professionally. Until this week, he was working quietly as a special assistant to GM Perry Minasian, the same executive who hired him now. That detail matters because it means that Suzuki isn't coming from outside the Angels circle. He's from within it. And for a franchise addicted to internal hires and controlled messaging, that's not a coincidence. At the start of this search, Albert Pujols was the Angels' preferred choice. The future Hall of Famer spent nearly a decade in Anaheim, and despite a complicated playing legacy there, his reputation as a teacher and motivator made him the ideal face of a fresh start. But the discussions unraveled fast. Reports from MLB Network and The Athletic says Pujols wanted three things: his own coaching staff, adequate support staff resources, and a salary that matched the weight of rebuilding this franchise. The Angels' response: no to all three. Arte Moreno and Perry Minasian reportedly viewed the request as unreasonable. In other words, they didn't want to give up control. Pujols walked, and within 48 hours, the team pivoted to Kurt Suzuki, familiar, loyal, and affordable. So yes, the Angels got their man, but it's not hard to see who got the final word. Since 2018, the Angels have had 5 different managers. Every one of them, from Brad Ausmus to Joe Maddon to Ron Washington, left with the same complaint: front office interference. Joe Maddon openly said after being fired that there was too much control from upstairs. Perry Minasian continues to insist we're moving in the right direction, but the results say otherwise. The Angels have yet to top 77 wins during his tenure, and continue to hover near the bottom third in pitching and development budgets. Albert Pujols reportedly wanted the freedom to shape this culture. He wanted influence. The Angels wanted compliance. Enter Kurt Suzuki, a first-time manager, front office loyalist, and low-risk replacement who won't push back when asked to implement someone else's blueprint. That doesn't mean he's not capable, but in Anaheim, capability often matters less than compatibility. Suzuki inherits a tricky situation. The Angels' core is talented: Zach Neto, Joe Adell, Taylor Ward, Logan O'Hoppe, Nolan Schanuel, but behind them is a thin rotation and one of baseball's least reliable bullpens. Mike Trout is still under contract through 2030, but there's no Shohei Ohtani to mask the cracks anymore. The front office says they want to win within their means, but what that really means is this: Kurt Suzuki's job isn't just to manage games, it's to manage expectations. Suzuki may be everything you want in a clubhouse: a steady presence, a player's guy, smart about pitching, and maybe he surprises everyone. But the problem in Anaheim isn't the personality in the dugout, it's the philosophy above it. Until the Angels empower a manager to lead freely, every hire will feel like the same story with a different nameplate. Kurt Suzuki might have the tools to lead. The question is, will they let him? The Angels have been chasing stability for over a decade, and once again, they chose comfort over change. If you enjoyed this episode of Coach's Tape, drop a comment. Was this the right hire, or just another yes man move by the Angels front office? Hit like, subscribe, and check out baseballauthority.com. Baseball apparel made by ball players for ball players.